Alright, hi everybody. Sorry I couldn't make it to class today, but I want to show you how you do your project. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be recording myself doing this project with you using my iPhone. I'll just turn to my window here and you can see my reflection in the glass. It's got a silly feeling, but I think it's going to work out really well. My plan is to post this to YouTube, and if all goes well, you will be able to see how to do this project without me actually being there. So let's see how this goes. So here I am in my lovely kitchen, and I'm at the dining room table, and I got my bananas there in case I get hungry, and here's your project. So what we're going to be doing, folks, is be making desktop wallpapers, and this is an example I got. This is my Ovechkin wallpaper that I'm going to be creating for you, and doing so I'm going to show you all the techniques you need to know. Okay, so to start with, you're going to have to make yourself a new picture and download a whole bunch of images that you're going to want. And what I got so far, I'm just going to shrink down the final product and show you the different images that make up the picture. I have a nice cloudy sky. I have, of course, Alexander Ovechkin, and I have the Washington Capitals logo. Alright. So, the first step, of course, is to get those pictures that you want, and of course, you're going to want to use planetrenders.net to get to your images. So this was taken from planetrenders.net, so don't forget to get your account. And if you can't seem to log on for some strange reason, it happens sometimes in the computer lab, then just look for an image that will work out really well for you. Okay? So here we go. Starting this project off, you need to make a new picture. So I'm going to go File, and then I go down to New. And it brings up this nice little dialogue, and you can give it a name, and most importantly, you can give it some dimensions. So you're going to want to make this picture the same size as your desktop resolution. If you don't know your desktop resolution at your home computer, then I guess you could use this resolution to begin with. I don't know if this is focusing very well. Well, there we go. I figured out how to focus my iPhone. Oh, good job, Mr. Pelletier. So I'm making it with 1650, and by the way, you have to choose pixels, otherwise it comes up as centimeters. So I'm going to choose pixels to make it 1650 by 1050. That's just how large my desktop is. So I don't know how large yours is at home. You can find out pretty easily by right-clicking on the desktop, and I'll tell you that information. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to make my picture nice and big, so I'll click OK. And I'll get this nice, whoa, big image, and it's all blank. And that's going to be great for making my picture. So the first thing I want to show you is, on my original picture, I want to show you how I made this kind of gradient effect, where I go from kind of white and fade into my image. Okay, so we're going to start with that. So I'll shrink this down. And, oh, where's my mouse? There we go. Using my lovely Razer Naga gaming mouse and my lovely StarCraft 2 mouse pad and my lovely gaming laptop here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to, first of all, just work with this cloud layer. So move my windows around a bit and grab the move tool. I'm just going to move this picture into my image. You'll see that it doesn't quite fit, so I'll do my best to kind of fit it in. By the way, when you're looking for a nice background image like this, you're going to want to search Google and search for only large images. If you find an image too small and you stretch it out, it's going to look terrible. Alright, but mine looks pretty good, so I'm going to press Control-T, and it'll let me stretch it out. And unfortunately, since I'm using one hand to hold the camera, I'm not going to be able to hold down Shift to scale it properly. So I'm just going to drag it to the side here and fill it up. And that's good there. Press Enter to accept your transformation. Now I want to get rid of the top part of the picture, because that's where I want my text to go. So I'm just going to make this full screen, so I get a little extra space on the side. And I'm going to grab my selection tools over here. I'm going to be using the rectangular Marquee Tool. Just looks like a big rectangle. What I'm going to do is just going to click on the outside and start dragging so I get it flush with the corners. and drag out a nice big chunk of space. And that's selected. I'm going to press delete and just kill that off. And of course, I'm working on my cloud layer here, so it's only deleting the cloud. So that was pretty easy. The next part is doing the actual gradient. And what I'm going to do with that is actually use the gradient tool. So I'll go over here and I'll show you the gradient tool. It looks like this. And there it goes. You just click on it. If for some reason you don't see it, it's probably because the paint bucket is on your thing. What you do is go to the paint bucket, click and hold, and you get other options. Actually, you can click and hold on many of the tools and you get all sorts of new options you might not have seen. Feel free to take a look at that. But right now I want to use the gradient tool. And I want my gradient to go from white to transparent. So I've got to first of all select my foreground color to be white. So I'll just double click. I get a nice little color selection thing, and I'll choose white. Click OK. And now I want to make it so that my gradient is going from white to transparent. So I just go to the top of the screen, and I can choose all sorts of different gradients. The one that I want right now is going to be this one that goes from white to transparent. So double click on that and you'll see it's loaded in here. And I want to use a linear gradient. There's some other ones here and you can just try them to see what they do. But first of all, I'm just starting with the linear gradient. Now how you do this gradient, I'm not sure if my mouse cursor is going to show up too well on this. It's awfully tiny. I'll put it on a cloud here. Can you see me wagging around here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag and you get this line going on. And so what this line does is where you start is where the transition from white to transparent begins, and everything before it down here is going to turn white. And then from the line all the way to the end point of the line, it's going to go from white to transparent and kind of fade out as it goes. So I'm going to let go of the mouse and get it as straight as I can, and you'll see that it's totally white where the line began, and it kind of fades out up into here. And that gives me my nice kind of transparent or gradient effect, going from white and fading into the picture. Okay, so that's very useful in Photoshop. Gradients are used all the time. So now we've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and get my Alexander Ovechkin picture. I don't need my cloud anymore, so I'm going to close that. And where'd you go, Ovechkin? I bet you're right here. Okay, so I'm just going to use the move tool to click and drag him into my wallpaper. And whoops, sorry. We're going to want to have him face the other way. So what I'm going to do is go to the edit menu, go down to transform, and I choose flip horizontal. So that flips him around this way. Then I'll move him. Get my picture centered a bit. Move him so that he's on the right part of the screen. I'll put him about here. And you're looking a little small there, Ovechkin. So I'm going to press Control-T to transform you. And again, I'd like to use the Shift button to make this nice and smooth, but with only one hand. I'm afraid I'm going to just have to do my best to estimate it. And I think I'll call that good enough for demonstration purposes. Okay, so there's my Ovechkin, my nice cloudy background. And that's probably the easiest part of this whole project, and also a really integral part, because the image you choose is going to obviously be the main thing that you see in the picture, so you want to choose a nice, pretty picture for that. Okay, so now all we're missing are the text. We want to put some text in here, and we want to put a logo. And doing those two things, I'm not only going to show you the text, but I also want to show you layer styles as well. Layer styles are extremely powerful, extremely useful things in Photoshop. So, I guess, first of all, I'll show you layer styles with the Washington Capitals logo. I'm going to close down Ovechkin. I don't need him anymore. And I'm going to drag over this logo here. And I think first I'm going to have to get rid of the white. So I'm going to use the magic wand. I'm not paying attention to where my camera is. Use the magic wand to just select the white and delete. Oh, that was funny. Let's move it over first. You gotta love live demonstrations and the wacky things that can happen. Let's move that over here. And I think I just have to switch